With Dennis Williams, head coach, general manager of the Everett Silvertips. Dennis, as we speak right now, you've just completed your home tournament in the preseason that the Silvertips host every year. In general terms, how nice is it to be back out on the ice and playing hockey again as we get set for the start of another season?
Yeah, well, first, Chris, it's been great. Obviously, it was a bit of a longer summer in terms of how our season finished last year, and but when the camp started coming, it came fast, and you get into training camp right into the 3-3 here with our preseason tournament. It's a great event. It's a great opportunity to see all the other U.S. division teams. A lot of us were able to obviously play a lot of young players, first year players in the league, and get your 2008s in there and some 07s and really just get to see what your future looks like. So overall, I was really impressed with the weekend.
When you look at your returnees, just give me a sense of the motivation level, the excitement level, the anticipation level that those guys are showing. Some of them are off to NHL camps. We'll talk about that in a moment. But just from your veteran core, how happy are you with the attitude coming in here as they get set to kind of lead this group forward?
Well, we've been really fortunate here over my time in Everett of having a great culture and a great locker room, and a lot of these players have learned from great leaders in the past throughout it. So to have a number of them returning, only losing 3 guys last year off our roster from the end of the season, as we have a lot of returners from it that have gone through a lot of highs and lows in terms of wins and losses and adversity we faced throughout years. And I know they're excited to get back after it. And like I said, I couldn't be happier than, with the group that we have coming back and how mature they are and how they've done such a great job throughout camp of really including all the obviously all the draft picks and signed players, but even more so when we have our training camp, how they do such a great job, our guys, of making sure that all the camp invite players are involved. And from day one, it's one thing we really stress here is our team culture and our team cohesiveness. And I've been very, very fortunate over the past, and even more so this year, of having a great group of leaders.
Ben Hemmerling, Austin Roost, both NHL drafted forwards. Caden Hamill, now an NHL drafted defenseman. What would you anticipate those guys are going to get out of an NHL camp experience this fall that they'll be able to bring back to Everett?
Well, we always ask them to bring something back, something that they learned, a new term, a new way of playing different than what we've done here in Everett, or how we're coaching here in Everett. And but we're going to rely on those guys quite heavily, throughout the year, and especially at the start. We need their experience, and obviously coming back from an NHL camp, they're going to come back with lots of confidence and playing time there against some of the best players in the world. So we're really going to have to utilize those players here early and often, and more so again from their off ice leadership. I want them to go there not just to learn how the pros play on the ice, but how they conduct themselves off the ice and how they take care of themselves, and be able to bring that back and continue to teach our first and second year players, what it takes to be a pro.
I want to ask you about your import players, Dennis. Dominic Raymond obviously missed a bunch of time last year, but he's back in town, and you get Mietin and the Finn coming over as well. We know all about Finns and the Everett Silvertips, right? With some of the players that you've been able to bring in the past, but how has he settled in, and how's Dominic feeling ahead of year 2?
Yeah, Dominic looks great. Obviously it was unfortunate last year losing him for most of the season, but he's healthy. He's skating well. He had a really good showing at the Czechia World Juniors this summer there, and has been playing some really good hockey. Put in the work this summer, which is great. And obviously when you're coming back as a second year player, you're familiar with everything over here, and it can be daunting for someone to fly all the way across seas, and especially in Dominic's case last year with learning the English language and getting acclimated to the North American League style. He came right back in, and it's like he hasn't missed a step or a beat for us. And then Julius is like you mentioned, we've been very fortunate in the past to have some good Finnish hockey players. Most recently, we had Nico Huhtinen, and prior to that, Kasper Pudio was with us that we got via trade with Swift Current, and both been great players and assets to our organization. And then so being able to add Julius to our group, who had a good showing at the Helenka Gretzky showcase this summer, big forward with good size, good range, shoots the puck well, competes hard. we were able to get him in all 3 games this weekend to try to get him acclimated. I'm sure he was a little tired after playing a 3-3, but obviously showed great signs. And as a 2006, as a player that, we look forward to working with over the next couple of years and doing our best to make him an NHL hockey player.
I want to ask you about another '06 player, Jesse Heslop, a guy that, third round pick in the WHL draft, came in and remember scored in his debut as a 15-year-old and put up more than 40 points for your guys last year as a 16-year-old player in this league. I mean, just how impressed are you with the way he's been able to mature, develop, and how excited are you for him to be able to go through an experience of perhaps drawing some NHL attention this winter?
Well, Jesse, what he's able to do is he can go up and down your lineup last year, and his skill set and his creativity, his ability to make plays in the offensive zone, gave him the opportunity and found a little niche there to play with guys like Austin Roos and Jackson Barasowski a lot of the year. And because of his playmaking and offensive ability and be able to make plays, he was able to obviously produce offensively with those type of players. And I would probably say last year he was kind of he wouldn't have been a driver on that line, but now this year coming back to year 2 with the success that he's had, we're going to really look for him to be a driver on one of our lines there and not only produce offensively and in the sense of being a driver that way in the offensive zone, but playing the game right. And the one thing we always say to our players, and this goes for Jesse, is, you focus your play without the puck and play the game, an honest game, then all the other side of the puck, the points will come with it. If you focus too much just on your offensive production, you probably leave in an evening upset because you've cheated the game somewhere. So the one thing I've really noticed with Jesse's game over last year into this year too is his maturity and playing without the puck and how reliable he has been in the defensive zone. So to be able to see him come and play that 200-foot game and also contribute offensively, I think will make him a dynamic hockey player this year for us.